Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello, Canadian MJ friends. Hope you're doing well. I'm in a bit of a hurry this afternoon, so I'm only going to do the major names. Sector is on absolute fire. If you need any more proof, remember the border issue? What border? So it's very clear that big money people use manipulation, that word, all the time, and it's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I think they use it too much with regards to trading and price action. But as far as manipulation of emotions, absolutely. That article from 2 days ago was used to scare as many people as possible. The big money then dropped the price in pre-market action when it takes a lot less shares to do so, and then they loaded up in a significant way. And at this point, there is absolutely zero doubt about that, judging by the size of the bounce that we've seen. We went from 40.68 to 52.42. We went over 20% in 3 days on that bounce. So volume is our prove it indicator. The volume was there on Friday of bulls buying the dip. That was no fake out. So we're now watching all of our lower highs that are in play for tomorrow. We are obviously in extreme euphoria, and this market has ideal conditions right now. Number one, obviously, hype, FOMO, ACB talks with Coca-Cola. Everybody's saying this sector is going to get involved, this major player. We've got a lack of bearish news. So they recycled the border news that we had talked about 3 weeks before that news came out. And what else do we got? S&P 500 is on the verge of all-time highs, less than 20 cents away from an all-time high today. Everything is pointing in favor of the bulls right now. So could we just break our daily resistances from here? Absolutely. But I will remain cautious, again, because of the size of the bounce that we've seen, 20% in 3 days. I personally am going to remain cautious while I continue to trade bullish until the hourly uptrend is lost. So again, the signal that our lower highs have been set on the daily is a loss of the hourly uptrend. We have a very clear hourly uptrend, still in full control of the bulls. As long as that hourly uptrend is in control, I can remain cautious, but I can still play bullish. I flipped CGC 6 or 7 times bullish today. I flipped ACB 3 times bullish today, and I did swing some ACB at the end of the day. So I want to point out, I've said it before, but it's important to clarify that my trading style is not for everybody. My trading style is specifically tailored for me and my financial situation, and it constantly changes. So I used to be as aggressive as a trader and investor that you could find. Back 8 years ago when I started with $3,000 in a mutual fund, $5,000 in a mutual fund, and then it went down to $3,000. I said, screw that, I'm going to do this myself. And I was all in. I was aggressive. Every single spare dollar that I had, I put into the USMJ sector in 2010. And I said, if I lose it all, I'll just get a job out of college like everybody else. Fortunately, that did not happen. And so from there, I continued to play extremely aggressively. Back in crypto, I went extremely aggressive in May. I made significant profits, more than I ever thought I'd ever make trading, and I put that into Canadian MJ. And then those MJ profits continued to compound. So where I stand right now, I'm in protection mode. So I've made my gains. If I don't make another dollar for the rest of the year, I am a very happy camper. So I am in protective mode, continually locking away gains every single day. The last 3 days have been wonderful. But if you are in a different situation, if you are like I was, if you're a college student and you have money that you can lose it all and you're, fully accepting that, and you're where I was 8 years ago, you have a completely different strategy. You're not going to be more as conservative and cautious as me. You're going to smash this opportunity with everything you have. So just because I'm not doing that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing that as well. It all depends on your financial decision. Obviously, just don't make dumb decisions and put yourself at risk to, really screw up your financial situation like we've seen many, many people do in cryptocurrency. There's a lot of people in a lot of financial trouble because of what they did. Obviously, it's a very different space, yada, yada, yada. The bottom line is, what I'm doing is not what everybody should be doing. I was scalping 20-cent moves on CGC all day today. That gives me a week maker. That gives me more money than I need. And for people with smaller accounts, that's not the case. So they're going to take more risks, swing trading, and holding positions longer. So it's all about these two resistances tomorrow. For CGC, 53.29, and then we're looking up at 56.60. Don't forget that we are seeing significant influenced by CNBC after hours. CNBC today has TLRY going on. That's going to be significant. That's a big reason we saw significant price action, in my opinion, because the bulls know if there's any buying pressure after hours that we're going to see TLRY significantly benefit from that. So 2 key resistance tests. As far as hourly supports go, we just established a new support at the end of the day before the bulls ripped buying that dip at 51.12. And if 51.12 breaks, we're looking down at 49.04. So those are the 2 support levels. So we're looking at supports on the hourly, resistances on the daily for pretty much every name. This is a bull flag on the hourly right now. And after hours, we're up over 52 right now on CGC. So we're going to likely test 52.42 tomorrow. And then we'll see if the bulls can break 53.29. And if they do, then it's just the all-time high resistance. Again, this is very significant follow-through, very significant volume. We're seeing some big institutions entering and loading up and not doing a lot of selling of their positions. And it is my complete opinion that they use that fear to reestablish significant positions. ACB, strong close. This is why I swung it. Broke that $11 psychological resistance at the end of the day. There was $11 million for sale on 11 psychological, and at the end of the day, that broke in about 30 seconds. And I was part of breaking some of that wall down with my position. I traded it earlier. We had the halt. So we didn't get the news everybody was looking for, but the market didn't care because the sector is in euphoria mode. So we didn't get, the deal that everybody was looking for. It was kind of a disappointing news release, but it almost gave an opportunity. So at that point, I had traded CGC multiple times that morning. And when ACB saw its gap up open, patiently waited for some clarity in terms of range to be established. And that's actually the wrong day. We're looking here. So patiently waited. Some people bought in right at the open and flipped it. I waited until we broke these 5-minute lower highs, and then I started trading ACB bullish. And again, just flipping it, locking in my profit, having zero risk. I'm not going to get back any of my capital, and I'm just going to continually add to it in small amounts that suit my lifestyle and my needs. So we ended really strong with a big bull close. We changed the weekly trend now on ACB. Obviously a laggard as everybody else has already done it, but we have our higher low, a little bull flag on the weekly, and in continuation, we broke resistance of 1072, which was big. Now we're looking up at 1198 as the next resistance level. We're definitely extended here. So tomorrow, if we see a gap up open, I will very quickly lock in my profit. Again, my goal is every single day, have more money than yesterday. That's all my goal is. And that will ensure that I start tomorrow with a good note and risk very little. If we get a gap up open, I will lock in some of that profit, if not all of that profit. The hourly time frame is extended. There's no doubt about that. The RSI is extremely high. We have not consolidated since really our last hourly high or low was 950. So we've essentially been running since 950. We're extended, but we can stay extended when the markets are in these conditions. So significant move for ACB. We have the uplisting on ACB as well to be looking forward to. And again, the dollar volume that I'm trading with, I actually looked today just at how much dollar volume have I traded CGC and Cron with, and how much have I traded these other names on the OTC, ACBFF, APHQF, and it's not even comparable. I'm talking thousands of percents more dollar volume from me being one trader. So if you open up the floodgates, anybody in the Canadian MJ space that considers themselves a major player is going to uplist on the US. It's just this resource of capital, and it makes absolutely no sense to not do so. I don't know what TLRY is doing by not doing so. I don't know if it's just part of their strategy or what. TLRY is up another $3 after hours. Insane run. I am going to short TLRY. I'm going to play puts, but I'm not going to do so anytime soon. My ideal scenario, waiting for the trade to come to me in ideal conditions, I want to see TLRY get a deal with a beverage company. I want to see a bull run up into October 17th. I want to see it break $200, and then I want to go bearish. When all of that euphoria is used up for the time being and the sector looks like it's going to consolidate. Again, if you're betting bearish on TLRY, you are betting bearish on the sector. The correlations are such that that is the case. So if I see signs that, okay, the sector is overextended, we've got all of our short-term events, we're looking for some healthy weekly consolidation, that's when I'm going to consider going bearish on TLRY. Otherwise, it's playing with fire as it's breaking 160 while I'm talking after hours. Just absolutely absurd, but markets can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. Don't step in front of a speeding bull blue sky train. So for APH, key resistance is 22. All about $22. Same thing as everybody else. If we do not break 22 and we lose the hourly higher low pattern, we look for healthy consolidation for a daily higher low. If we do not lose the hourly higher low pattern, the bulls remain in full control and we head up to 22. So new hourly support is 2031. If that breaks, we're looking down at 1944. Two key support levels, and there's actually a couple resistances here, 2074, 2135, and then 22. So still very healthy. And at the start of the morning, I said or midday, I said in the chat room, the next consolidation that we see in this sector is going to be healthy on the hourly. We've run all morning. We are far away from our last hourly higher low. So consolidation we can anticipate will just form another higher low. In order to break the hourly uptrend, it's not likely going to happen today. And it's going to have to require a sell-off and profit taking tomorrow. And again, there's no sign of that happening. It's just something to be keeping an eye on. The most important things that we're watching, again, just to reiterate, hourly higher lows, daily resistances. Cron, huge day today, and it played laggard. So we broke the daily inside bar bullish first thing at 1070. There's your first bull signal. Look at the volume today. And what I mean by playing laggard is Cron was clearly the weakest name on this bounce Friday and Monday, those 2 days combined. And now it's caught up. So if we just look at CGC and compare the daily chart, we're back to our levels from September 10th. We're coming up on that September 10th high, and Cron on September 10th, we're looking up at 1246. So we're getting up to those levels. Before today, we were way further behind than compared to some of these other names. But with such a huge day, we played catch up. Something to keep in mind psychologically and fundamentally in this sector. When ACB was halted, everybody's thinking, okay, this is a beverage deal. So everybody's looking at the other names. And money's going into these other names to say this is going to be bullish because people are going to anticipate the next deal to be with this name. Keep in mind that CGC already has a deal. So in instances like that, I expect more money to flow into names that don't have a deal, like Cron, ACB, APH. So in that regard, CGC is going to be less of a target for people that want that next, big 20% gap up open on deal news. CGC already had its big gap up open on deal news. And, once the next name does it as well, we're going to see just people jump around to try and find the next deal and the next big gap up. So that's something to keep in mind when looking at what names to play. And that's a reason that Cron saw a significant move, in my opinion. Hourly time frame, healthy consolidation. No red flags on the volume. Last higher low was down at 1010. And anything above 1010 keeps another higher low. So support right now is 1147. We'll see. We did not close very strong. We definitely closed a good ways away from that high of 1214. And in order to change this hourly trend, we're going to establish a higher low because we have so much space to do so. We're going to come up and set a lower high. This is me saying if we change the trend, this is how it will likely play out. Set a lower high and then lose that support level. We could absolutely just head right back to a higher high as well. The more we pull back, the more likely a lower high on the initial bounce will be to see that tightening range and the potential to lose those hourly higher lows. But you look at names like CGC on the hourly, and that consolidation is very brief. It's a bull flag, and it's much more likely for continuation than Cron, which is not anywhere near as close to continuation because we closed with a little bit more weakness. So those are just some little differences in these individual names and what consolidation looks like on one name and how it compares to the other. Always just little details comparing these names to each other. Right now, CGC is up 30 cents after hours. TLRY is up to 163. It's just running leading into its segment on Fast Money CNBC. I expect it to sell off a little bit once it starts talking, once we start seeing that segment live, but there's just no resistance, and it's very thinly traded, and there's huge volume pouring in. TLRY, there it is. Just insanity. Weekly time frame is a straight rocket. Bears are going to make a lot of money, but in terms of timing that top, don't try and time that top, bottom line. Hourly higher low here is 147.60, and looking at support, looking at resistance. Let's turn on extended hours here. And there it is after hours. Rocket ship. So bulls in full control of the sector is the bottom line. And significant buying of the dip. Again, seeing the institutions doing a lot more buying than selling. And we are watching key resistances on the daily time frame tomorrow. Let's see if ACB gets a gap up. Let's see if everybody gets a gap up. And again, I'm remaining protective. That doesn't mean you should be. It's my style to fit me. I hope you all continue to do good things out there. At the end of the video here is some more Iceland, some cliffs. Not going to try and pronounce them. And I'll continue to put out some content from Iceland day after day. So congrats to the bulls. It's been a great day. It's been a great 3 days. And just like that, right back in the swing of things. Certainly an easy transition for me to get back into the swing of things after not trading for 4 days and being further away from the computer that I've been in terms of the trading world in 3 years. But to come back to it with the Friday, Monday, Tuesday days that we've seen, it's just wonderful. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.